And coming up next on OMS1, we have something incredibly interesting, chewing the down the line. Trains and Transport Vids and I presents Railway200, a history of trains using Minecraft and Roblox with fellow enthusiast, Oran. This is a steam train, and this one in particular is famously known to many as the Flying Scotsman. It was the first train to reach 100 miles per hour in 1934. Trains like these used to run all across the planet, but things have changed since then, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this short film. In 1825, British engineer Robert Stephenson had a simple idea, and that idea was to build a form of transportation that wouldn't involve horse-drawn vehicles. Railways were around at this point but were horse-drawn. So he built the first railway locomotive, the Rocket. This is where the railways truly started. The first railway was the Stockton and Darlington Railway, which was opened on the 14th of September 1825. Thanks to trains, many other forms of rail transport would exist, such as light rail, which is what we usually know as trams. As I mentioned already, the first train left Stockton for Darlington on the 14th of September 1825. To the people who watched the first train leave the station, these vehicles were the machines of the future to them. Thanks to Robert Stephenson and the men who built the first railway, the railways would expand throughout England and the world. As the century moved on, railways would revolutionize. In 1862, the first oldest ever underground network was opened.
We need to do something quick and fast. I have an idea. What's your idea, good sir? I think we should build an underground railway underneath the City of London. What? Are you crazy? That's just cause more traffic. Traffic is all London needs right now. Let me explain. It'll simply lead to more people using railways to get across the city, and therefore the traffic in the city centre and Greater London decreases. Okay, we're all for it, right? That's settled then, my chaps.
Construction then began on the first ever underground. It was hard work, but when it was finished, the hard work was well worth it. The first underground train then ran along its entire length in 1862. The one thing that railways didn't have yet was signaling. If there was no signaling, or the signal person doesn't do their job properly, trains could collide. In order for trains to get to wherever they needed to go, railway companies faced a challenge, and that was how should railways cross the roads. So they built a kind of road or footpath crossing called level crossings. Level crossings were originally TMOB or trainman-operated barrier crossings. But in the 20th century, crossings became manually operated and signal houses are no longer needed.
Railways have really came on since 1825, haven't they? I agree, mate. Railways have revolutionized transport in an intriguing way. I think that we are now thankful in some ways for the Industrial Revolution.
In 1830, the first mainline railway line opened between Liverpool and Manchester. It helped a lot because it cut a 5-hour journey on a dirt road to a comfortable 2 hours. Thanks to this line, this helped many other cities to think twice and connect another city with another. London, England to Edinburgh, Scotland SND London to Glasgow was another great example of an extraordinary rail connection.
Changing to clear weather.
The fact that two cities are now connected via rail is fantastic. I never thought they would take the railways to this point. No mate, it's amazing.
In 1922, LNER's No. 40 for 70 to Flying Scotsman entered service. 12 years later, in 1934, it became the first steam locomotive to do 100 miles per hour. For many years, steam dominated, but as we came to the mid to late 20th century, their golden era was coming to an end. The year of 1968 would change the course of railway history for eternity. As diesel-electric multiple-unit locomotives became more frequent in Great Britain and the rest of the world, the golden age of steam came to an end in 1968. As we came towards the millennium, diesel-electric multiple units were beginning to be replaced. And so, D.M.us or diesel multiple units took over most passenger train duties.
This is due to a member of the train crew being unavailable.
Trains can now do incredibly fast speeds that the original inventors of them never thought they could do. One of the most high-profile British trains, the HST or high-speed train, can do speeds of up to 125 miles per hour, while trains in Japan and Spain can do speeds of 200 to 300 miles per hour or over. As we progress through the century and onto the next, trains will change and speeds will increase, making more people attracted to rail transport than their own car. As we progress through the years and onto the next century, the average speed of trains will increase, cutting journey times between one place and another. It seems that despite high train ticket prices in some countries, the future of railways looks to be extremely promising, and the dreams of the early pioneers who built the first railways has been realized.